When I built my garage just a couple months ago, not me had it built. I would have liked to have built it, but I told you I made use of every bit of storage, and up there is something that I haven't seen in a couple years. Going through lots of stuff, just didn't feel like it, and now it's time to bring it out and hopefully showcase it and get it back to use. My kids have requested, so here we go. Home. There she be, my quilted beauty. It's showing some age, but honestly I'm going to oil the wood and just clean it up a bit, let it have some sun to freshen up. But we'll be building a stand because before my previous home I had it between two trees, and if you look here, you know, it's not gonna make it. So hoping to create a stand I can put up there, just have a spot to chill out and maybe take a nap or two. I did want to say that this was originally sponsored for me by DFO Home, so I still appreciate them. They also had worked with me on the furniture for the fire pit back when, and honestly, you can see I've taken care of it. It's still holding good, so giving them a free shout out, dfohome.com. But anyway, hopefully building this and get back to swinging and chillaxing. If you want to do this yourself, I'm taking into account the measurement of my hammock, and this is going to be different from somebody else's. This is a 2-person, can hold up to like 350 pounds, something like that. Again, it's quilted, so it's going to lay differently than some of your rope hammocks and so on. But I'll be taking care of all that as I figure this out. Okay, hope you can hear me over the wind. This is what I'm dealing with. If you remember when I was redoing all of this here, which was a nightmare 2 months, but I had found a tarp buried up here with dirt on top of it. And then if you can see, there's an ant mound and still plenty of poison ivy all over the place. So obviously, in order for me to have a spot to rest this, again, this is not my property. Up here is we're allowed to use as long as we don't make something permanent. So hammock stand works. I'll be cleaning this out, digging up more poison ivy so it's gone for good. Hopefully that won't keep creeping over anyway. And you can see my sods taking that I just put down. Lula's inspecting. Got some more work, elbow grease ahead of me, and it's like 96 out right now, 88% humidity. Thankful this is in the shade. A lot of what I'm cleaning up is what I threw up here after I dug everything out, and it's all dead, but I still need to clean it up. Good morning, Lila. Lila. So I worked about an hour or so the other day. It was way too hot. Just wasn't going to do it, so I did other work. But back out here about 6:30 this morning, working for a bit, because it's going to be about 98 with a heat index again with 88% humidity, so on. So see what I can get done today. Come here. Come here. What do you know? Another stone. Oh boy, look at this. Stay, Lula. Did you eat poop? Come here. These are all those pear trees that I cut down in the fall. These Bradford pears are pretty, but they're so invasive and a booger to take care of as far as like pruning and stuff. Mad props to the people who cleared land by hand back in the day. I need a mule. Where's Lula? So while I'm using just a basic circular saw on what I have, used to have a table saw. You would put a dado blade and you could chew that out and a lot faster. It's still kind of a process to work across the blade, but this works. My little saw is a 5.5 inch, and if I just do one pass on one side, flip it over to the other side, I'll have this notched out. That way the pressure treated wood isn't sitting smack on the ground, taking up water and moisture. I just want that little bit of feet on there so that it's making ground contact, but not taking on so much water. So I've got it clamped up. I'm trying to figure out the angles, what I want to be happy with. I need to clean up the cut on that one because I used my circular, but you get the idea, and I'm not sure if I made these long enough. I will find out. Worst case is I have to get another one, and I can use these for plenty of other stuff I have to build yet. So I moved into the garage because it's ridiculously hot. Look at what, hold on one. That's what it reads in my garage right now. So I've got it laid out so I can assemble in here where it's level. Made some miscuts, which it's because this is a brand new plan for me and I didn't really quite have all the specs. But I figured it out, and whatever I didn't use with the miscuts, I'll be using for other stuff. So I'm not worried about that. Just a little irritated with myself because I know better. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be in here, and it might be raining and it might be relief. I'm out of breath. All right, another hot one, and I've been up here leveling this out. I'm not sure, like I said, what I'm going to do with this. Maybe put down some sod from other projects I'm going to be digging up, but glad to have it done, and hopefully Ivy will be at bay for a time. There was a lot in there. I know I didn't get all the roots because I'm not going to dig down to the core of the earth where it seems like poison ivy comes from. But Lulu and I up here enjoying the morning. It's hot and I'm drenched. Gonna go give myself a hair trim. Got my hair trim done, back in the oven here and ready to go. I'm excited to see this put together. This is a new build for me. I'm designing this as I go based on some things I found that I like in different features of different hammock stands. Obviously wanted stability. I wanted something that maybe I can even take down over winter. And then obviously the adjustable part is more for your guys' benefit because I know what my hammock is, but who knows, maybe I'll eventually end up with a bigger one at some point. But gonna be creating the centerpiece first and then adding ends. I think that's the best way to do this. I will let you know after I'm done. So my centerpiece is drilled 8 foot long, 4x4 with 2-inch in from ends, right? Fine center, 3 inches out each way, 10 3/4 apart. So there should be 5 holes on each side. Now to set this up, I have it marked 4 inches in from the end down here. You can see my line, and then I have it clamped together. And what I did, and again, there's probably some other better way you could do it or whatever works for you. I set my square on, find center of the hole, and then I mark corresponding on each side so that I know I'm going to transfer those to the other side, and I'm going to use these holes as a guide to drill into the next one. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I made those hash marks that you just saw me do on the center, but I also did it on the 4x4 coming down so that I can line them up clamped and should be able to drill through, and hopefully these holes line up because you know how boogery that can be when you do all this and the holes just aren't doing it. So hopefully we're good. So if you notice, my bit's not long enough to go all the way through the bottom, but I'll take this off and then finish the hole. At least I have the mark. If you can't tell, I'm sweating buckets. It says 92 in here. There is a breeze, but it's humid again. Just wanted to go over something with you. If you see, I've got that stuck in here. This angle, I just literally guessed. Now, I did measure for you so you know where the starting point and the end point should be, but I drilled in this way. I wanted to go over something real quick with you about bits. I've talked about this before in other blog posts, but I'm going to rehash it again in case you haven't seen it. You saw me initially using a standard drill bit. Okay. I kind of wished I would have remembered to use my spade bit because I prefer those when I'm making deep bores and stuff. But a spade bit would be like this. See the point at the tip there, and keeps you in place, doesn't jump around, and it goes straight through, but it does rip out the back. And so when I worried about that and something that I'm building and I want a nice finish, I would use a Forstner bit, which also has a little tip on there to hold it in center. But what's nice about these is you don't necessarily rip through the back, but I like to when I'm doing work. You saw me, I can't remember if I videoed that, I like to flip the work over when I just get the tip of this out, and then I'll finish the hole from the other side so I don't get the rip out. This I wasn't too concerned because it's an outdoor piece of furniture. It's kind of rustic. I'm not going for a super nice finish. But anyway, different bits for different reasons. With these, this length, you can see that I have this extension and I had another extension in my drill down here so I could get all the way through. This is just using what I had. You could just get a really long bit, or you could have just a long extension, but I used what I had and it worked. Again, I could do this to the hilt with all the different little things, but if you use what you got, this is how I'm doing it. So aiming through there, and then we'll drive the carriage bolt in that has the square head top that helps keep it from turning, and then with the washer and my nut. Also wanted to suggest, if you wanted to, there are different size Forstners, right? So you could counter set in your washer and your nut if you wanted to. Again, I'm not really worried about it, but if I was going for a cleaner finish, that's probably something I would do. And forgot my scrap wood so I don't beat the jitters out of the head. And also wanted to say, I'm not assembling this all in the garage. There's no way I could carry it up the hill. I'm rough assembling so that I can at least carry it in pieces, and we'll be putting it up and then putting it all together up there. That's Lula. Hi, Lula. There's Lula again, but I did want to point out carriage bolt there, but I did use some deck screws to just hold it in place while I drilled and stuff. It's me by myself for the most part, and I didn't want to mess up. I didn't have several clamps. I'm using most of mine at the moment, so screws work for now. But again, if you had some different setup and you wanted a better finish, you could bring your bolt up higher. But I put screws in there for safety and help you out. Now, here goes the test. If I fall, oh well. If I roll down the hill. Oh my, I'm nervous. Whoa. Okay, not bad. Just a second ago, we're laughing our heads off because I had my daughter. She wanted to try it out. And I let Lula out of the house, my dog, and she came busting up. I said, where's she at? And she jumped. She's never seen a hammock before because this has been put away for about 3 years now. And she's jumping all over. My daughter's flipping, holding her arms out, trying not to roll down the hill, essentially. Made some mistakes along the way. I'm going to be sharing those within my blog post, so definitely check that out. I'll be writing that down. But I'm happy with it, and I'm trying to beat the rain. It's starting to drizzle right now, so I might have to quick clean up. But excited to have this feature for the yard, and if I can't keep it up here, at least I can stick it down in my yard and have it there. Oh well. It started to downpour. Just some notes. This is an 8-inch, right? You can see the excess there. I could either just buzz it off. The store I went to didn't have an in-between 6-inch and 8-inch, and obviously I needed a little longer. I'm out of breath from running out of rain. And you can get some rubber caps that will also do that as well. But anyway, like I said, happy to have this done. and eager to share with you the whole tutorial. So be sure to check out my blog post, subscribe to my newsletter, and if you're here on YouTube, ring that bell notification icon there and subscribe here as well. All right, until next time.